Welcome back to Clash of Cultures. As you guys can see, today we're going to be previewing the South Carolina Gamecocks against the Georgia Bulldogs at Sanford Stadium. The big time week 3 matchup in the SEC. Georgia is favored by 27.5 points. I personally don't think they cover that spread, you guys. But before we get into too much of this conversation, those of you guys who are new around here, please do us a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload. We post college football every single day. We have a pickem link is in the description below, as well as our Discord link is down there as well. Make sure you guys join both of those so you can kind of further yourselves into our community. We've been growing this channel for about 3 to 4 months now, college football wise. It's been very fun seeing all the new fans, all the takes and opinions and perspectives here on the channel. My dad and I had been having so much fun. Obviously, my dad is still on his trip, but he's going to be back here by the live show Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern to preview week 3, to give our takes on all of week 3 games. I'm obviously going to give my prediction for this game now. But just to kind of kick it off, man, this game is obviously a big matchup in the SEC. Georgia fans probably don't view it that way. They think they're going to steamroll the South Carolina Gamecocks. I don't think Georgia's going to cover the 27.5 points. Georgia hasn't looked amazing against their first 2 opponents, UT Martin and Ball State. Obviously, they won both those games by 40 points. But early on in those games, they, were kind of slow. 17-0 at half against UT Martin. And then against Ball State, 31-0 at half, but 0-0 after the first quarter in Ball State. Stetson Beck looks like a natural quarterback. Obviously, he doesn't have to do too much for this Georgia team to win. I think as far as the quarterback position goes, South Carolina does have the edge with Spencer Rattler. They're obviously 1-1, coming off of a win against Furman. They did beat Furman last week, but in week 1 on game day, they did lose to Drake May in North Carolina, which was a pretty heartbreaking loss for them. Spencer Rattler didn't throw a touchdown in that game. Just overall, that loss probably lowered the morale quite a bit for this Gamecocks team. But after coming off of a 26-point win against Furman, I expect them to try to kind of make a statement in this game. Even if they don't win, I think if they make this game close, it kind of makes a statement to the rest of the SEC that, hey, we're not a floor mat. We can compete with the best of the best. So I like them in this game. I do think if I had to give a score prediction, actually I'm going to wait to give my score prediction to the end of the video. But I do think it's going to be a lot closer than what some people expect. Obviously, skill position wise, I'm going to give the edge to Georgia. They've just looked like they haven't really, lost a beat skill position wise. But really, the question is going to kind of come about is, are they going to have a slow start against the South Carolina team that has I would say, a decent offense? I think if they have a slow start against Ball State and UT Martin, obviously it's not going to hurt them in the long run because they have the depth and the talent, top to bottom, to outplay those teams in 4 quarters. But I think if you start slow against South Carolina, go down 10-0 maybe in the first quarter, even go down 7-0, or if you're only up 14-10 at half, kind of give South Carolina that life. We saw what South Carolina could do against the likes of Clemson, Tennessee last year, even against Notre Dame, only losing by a touchdown in the bowl game. I think South Carolina is one of those teams that momentum plays a big factor in how they play football. And I think with how Beamer's coached, albeit they are 1-1 this year, but in their last 5 games, they have 2 wins over top 10 opponents, with Clemson and Tennessee, who were both playoff hopefuls last year. And then obviously Notre Dame, who's looking really good right now with Hartman. But I mean, I think this game could be a sleeper game for week 3. Obviously, there's not any big matchups. We know game day is going to Colorado this week. But I like this game a lot. Definitely going to be a game I'm watching. It's the middle game of the day, 12:30 West Coast time, 3:30 Eastern. So definitely one that I'm going to be tuned in on. Want to see how Spencer Rattler responds against the number 1 team in the country, arguably the best defense in the country. I'm hoping that Spencer Rattler kind of puts on a show. I would be ecstatic if South Carolina somehow won this game. I just don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But I think they can still have a sort of a coming out party against this dominant Georgia team. Both of these teams average 460 and then 470 yards of offense in the first 2 games. So very similar in offensive stat wise. But defensively, Georgia has only given up 240 and South Carolina has given up 380. But we have to keep in mind they did play against North Carolina, who's better than the 2 opponents that Georgia has played. But I mean, other than that, not too much to be said about this game. It's kind of a question mark of, do you think Georgia's going to cover or not? I think it's a pretty safe bet that Georgia's going to win this game. I do have Georgia winning, but I personally don't have them covering that 28-point spread. I just don't think I don't think they're able to do that. And the over under is at 54. If I was a bettor, I would smash the over on that, because I think Georgia is naturally going to put up points, and I think South Carolina is capable of scoring a little bit of points against this Georgia team. Even if we're talking about 14 or 17, I think Georgia's going to put up maybe 38, right around there. So, I would say the final score, I would probably have it 38-17, 21-point win, for Georgia, which would hit the over. So that's what I think. I think 38-17, would be a big one. Is that hitting the over? 38-17. That's 55, right? Yeah, it's 55. Sorry, I had to do some quick math in my head. Yes, that would be right over the over. So if I was a betting man, I would take the over on that, and I would take Georgia by 21. I don't think they cover 28. I think it would be also from the other side, looking at Georgia. I think it would be very impressive if they were able to beat a South Carolina team by 28. Georgia fans might think like that's not impressive. South Carolina's not on our level, but when you look at South Carolina and how they looked against North Carolina, obviously losing by 2 touchdowns, for Georgia to double that, when this is Georgia's first true test, after, like I said, Ball State and UT Martin, I think a 28-plus point win would be crazy for their confidence, especially because their next test isn't going to be probably until, if you want to say Auburn, Kentucky, but after that, it's Florida, on October 28th. So we're talking about a 7 or 8-0 start, coming off of this game. And then you got Ole Miss and Tennessee to kind of finish out the year. This is looking like an undefeated team. Tennessee has not looked very good. Ole Miss obviously got the big win over Tulane. But Georgia's looking like what we thought they were going to be. That is for sure. A lot of football to be played, but this game, like I said, this game is a big one for me. I just want to see spread wise, can they cover this 28-point spread? I have no doubt in my mind that Georgia's not going to win this game. I think Georgia wins, but I think South Carolina has upset potential. I think it is a very slim chance they're able to pull this off, but I think they can make this game close. I know I have it 38-17, but I wouldn't be surprised by a 38-28, a 10-point game, a 38-27 type game. I just hope it's a good one. I hope it's competitive ball. Obviously, we saw the Alabama-Texas game last week. It was competitive throughout, and then Texas pulled away and won by 10 at the end. Still a good game nonetheless. Obviously, this game doesn't have that much, hype because South Carolina's not in the top 25. They lost their first game. But nonetheless, South Carolina is a good team. They are a solid football team, and I think, again, like I said, Beamer has these guys playing really good ball. I think they're 3-2 in their last 5 games, and with 2 of those wins coming against 2 teams that I would say can beat anybody in the country, with Clemson and Tennessee. Obviously, Clemson's taken a bit of a dip this year, but I'm talking about last year, beating those 2 teams in the fashion they did. Obviously, they beat Tennessee by like 25. They lost to Notre Dame by 7 in the bowl game. So this team is not a bad team. A lot of momentum coming in from last year. I'm looking forward to see how Rattler looks against this Georgia defense, and I'm looking forward to see how Carson Beck looks against another SEC defense and not a UT Martin or Ball State. But that is going to wrap it up for this video, you guys. Just a quick little breakdown of South Carolina versus Georgia. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this matchup. If you guys have Georgia, South Carolina fans, please tell me in the comment section what you guys think your team needs to do to win. Obviously, a lot of fans of teams are going to root for their guys no matter who they play. So all I ask is, if you are, rooting for either team, but, mostly South Carolina just because they are a 28-point underdog, without kind of like taking the fan perspective out of it and the fan aspect out of it, what is like a realistic score prediction for this game if you're a South Carolina fan? And what is a realistic kind of game plan or strategy that you would use if you were Beamer? And what do they need to do to kind of control the pace of play and kind of get up on Georgia early and maybe hold them off and fend them off, and pull off this monumental upset? This would be a monumental upset if South Carolina was able to get the job done against Georgia. Like I said, I don't see them doing that, but I would be a fan of it. Again, I love college football. I love chaos. Obviously, my Clemson Tigers went down against Duke on Labor Day, and that got the college football world spinning, buzzing. So this would kind of do the same thing, would have the same effect. But Like I said, if you guys have not already, please do us a favor, join the Pick'em, join the Discord. The links to that are in the description below. We love seeing you guys join the channel and join the community. At 1,000 subscribers, we do have that signed Heisman jersey giveaway. So please subscribe, join the community there. Bring your friends, family, anybody that you know who likes college football. Bring them on. Let them know you want them to join this growing community and channel because it's a fun one, man. Me and my dad are having fun doing this so far, and we can't wait to see kind of where this takes us and throughout however many seasons we do with this. But this is obviously the first college football season we're doing, so it's been really fun. But with all that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow where I will be giving my top 5 Heisman candidates after week 2. So please, if you guys are interested to see who I have as my Heisman front runners and dark horses, even my top 5 for tomorrow, please hit that notification bell so you don't miss that upload. And I will see you guys then. Peace out.